I have a student who has this problem on his homework, and the problem states that if you know 2 points that are endpoints on the diameter of a circle, write the equation for the circle in standard form. So one thing to recognize is that if you have 2 points, you can then make an equation for a circle from that, and that's pretty powerful, because then you can determine some kind of an orbit or a trajectory that is circular, and that has a lot of meaning in future mathematics and engineering. So how are we going to go about this? First of all, we have to know our equation of a circle in standard form, which is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And I have a whole TikTok video on deriving this from the distance formula, which is basically what we're going to do now, but in reverse. So what do h and k represent? Those are the center. H comma k is the center of the circle, and r is our radius. So this is h comma k. If we were to put this on an x, y coordinate system. So that's what we're being asked to do, is to take these 2 points and create an equation of a circle. Are either of these points the center or the radius? No, right? The radius is a distance, and neither of these are the coordinates for the center. So how are we going to find our radius and our coordinates for our center? Well, one way to go about it is, let's just draw a picture to help us visualize this. So let's draw these 2 points. So 7, 3, let's just generally put it here, and 5, -1, generally here. So let's say that's our given diameter with 2 endpoints. And let's make this our circle here. So how are we going to find the center? What is the center in terms of these 2 endpoints? It's halfway between them. The endpoint is the diameter, the center is the midpoint. And for that matter, we can talk about the radius also. The radius is half of the diameter, right? Radius equals 1/2 diameter. So how do we find the center? We can either find the distance between these 2 points, half it, that will give us the radius. That's one way to find the radius. But how do we find the center? The center, there's a simple equation for finding the midpoint between 2 lines. You simply take the x's, so we're going to take 7, add them together, 7 plus 5, divide by 2, take the y's, 3 plus a -1, divided by 2. That is the coordinate of your center. It's that easy. Now let me just show how that works visually so it doesn't seem so magical. So if our points are 5, -1, and 7, 3, so 7, 3 on the x-axis, your 7 is here, and 5, this is your 5 here. The middle is clearly 6, right? And then for these 2 points, for the y-axis, we have a -1 and we have a 3. So our center is clearly going to be 1. So h comma k is going to equal 1, 6. That's the center of our circle. So again, to see it visually, all you do is you have your 2 points. You have one, like let's say this is the x-axis. You have 7 and you have 5. To find the midpoint between 7 and 5, you just take 7 plus 5 and divide by 2. And that equals 6. Sorry, I wrote this in reverse. This is 6, 1. So that's how you find the midpoint visually and algebraically. Okay, so we found our midpoint, 6, 1. Now we have to find r. So what is the relationship between r and the midpoint and our two diameter points? So we have our center and we have these 2 points. So r is simply this distance. So we can use our distance formula because r can equal distance if we set things up right. So what is our distance formula? The distance formula is x1 minus x squared plus y1 minus y squared is equal to distance. So we're trying to find the radius. So our h and k is 1 point. We can choose either of these 2 points now as our x1. So let's choose 7, 3 as x1. So we're going to say square root of 7 from this coordinate. All right, we're taking the distance between these 2 coordinates, the center and one of the points given in the problem. So we're going to do 7 minus 6 squared plus 3 minus 1, these are our y coordinates, squared is equal to distance. That's going to be square root of 5 is equal to distance. So now we've done it. We have our r, which is our distance, and we have our h and k. So all we have to do is place those where they're supposed to go in the standard formula. X minus h, so h is 6, squared plus y minus k, which is 1, squared is equal to r squared. So if distance equals r, what is r squared? All right, square both sides. The square root, it's important to be able to know that the square root of 5 squared is equal to 5. So that's the solution to the problem.